Hello everybody, welcome back to this American Dynasty YouTube channel. To basically set the stage of this whole thing, I want to say this first. This past weekend, we saw something very special. We saw two pairs of American teammates, which did include A.Robinson and Ream, who both play for Fulham, and then we also saw Tyler Adams and Brendan Aaronson for Leeds. Both of these two pairs did start in their Premier League match, and it did happen on one single day. And the last time we saw something like this was back on April 19th, 2008. So you can see that many Americans have been starting for their Premier League teams as of late, and especially through this season. So I do believe that going into this brand new season, the US fans should be extremely happy, and we should very much look forward to what's to come. Because again, this is a World Cup year. Many are going to want to perform. Many are going to want to convince Berhalter why they should be starting in that starting 11 in Qatar. So what we are going to be doing within this video is talk about A.Robinson, Ream, Tyler Adams, Brendan Aaronson, Christian Pulisic, and then we are just going to lightly touch on Pepe, Scully, and Pifok. Like, not even talk about them for like 2 minutes. It's just going to be very slight, very brief when it comes to these three players. But first, let's talk about Robinson and Ream, two players who do play in the same team, which is again Fulham, and Fulham are finally back in the Premier League. The timing is like so correct when it comes to this. Like, the fact that Fulham were able to get back into the Premier League on a year where there is going to be a World Cup, that is great, and especially for the US fans, because we are going to be seeing Robinson and Ream play every weekend in the Premier League, which is the highest level of football you could get within the top 5 leagues. So starting with Robinson performed very well. Like, he understood the agenda from Liverpool. Like, when it came to the attack, he performed so well. When it came to the defense, he played amazing. And when I talk about Robinson understanding the agenda, I'm talking about this. There were many times where Liverpool were trying to switch play, whether it was a long pass coming from Van Dijk or a long pass coming from Trent or a long pass coming from Salah. Robinson knew exactly where to be at and be ready for a long pass like that, because that is how Liverpool like to approach the opposition, right? Their opponents is to make a very quick long pass to the other side of the pitch and then attack. Fulham were really up against that and were ready for that type of challenge, and especially for Robinson. So Robinson, at the age of 24 years old, he did a great job on dealing with Salah, Van Dijk, and also Trent, and he had a total of 2 interceptions and 5 clearances coming away from this game. So he was able to deal with that, right? And the fact that Robinson has been able to deal with something like this, which is very high, fast-paced play, he is able to deal with any sort of fast play situation that he ever does encounter, whether it's in the Premier League or in the future, like in the World Cup. So like 99% of the time, Robinson did deny space to Salah and Henderson. Like, he did not allow Salah and Henderson to do their thing, and that was so great to see. So when it comes to some highlights, right, when it comes to the defense, there was a moment on the 21st minute where one of the players from Liverpool made a cross into the box. Robinson headed the ball out that could have gone to Salah and he could have easily scored, but Robinson was there on time. On the 29th minute, we saw Salah trying to receive the ball, but we saw Robinson tracking right behind him and pressed Salah so well, and Fulham won the possession. Moving on towards the 38th minute, we saw again Robinson do a great recovery that took the ball away from Henderson, which was one of the midfielders for Liverpool. And then when it came to the attack, right, there were moments like on the 53rd minute, we saw him try to take on like 3 to 4 players. It was never going to work. I do believe that Fulham should have given Robinson more support on that play right there, like what we see on this picture. But the fact that he had the confidence to do that and take on about 3 to 4 players, that was great. I honestly think that he'll grow into this league and start to understand that that is not the best solution, and not to try and force the ball moving forward. Maybe go back and restart play. And then there was also another moment on the 30th minute where he did make a cross that should have never happened, by the way, but because Robinson is so athletic, he made a great cross that was considered as a shot assist, and Fulham almost scored. So there were many moments where Robinson did come out great in terms of the defensive game and the attacking game. Now, I want to talk about one specific moment that did happen on the 63rd minute, and this was in the exact moment Liverpool found their first goal. So we look at this still here, right, and you can just see one thing. You can see that Robinson left Salah so open. He should have stayed back and stayed right next to Salah, like what he has been doing throughout the whole course of this game. But what he did here was try to mark one of the midfielders of Liverpool because he was gaining possession, and Robinson fell for the bait. Now, here's the thing, right? Many are going to be saying this is Robinson's fault. He should have never come up because that pass went to Salah, and then Salah made the cross, and then that is how Liverpool found the goal. Well, again, here's the thing. There was a midfielder here that should have been there, and I'm going to be highlighting that player for you that did not mark the midfielder of Liverpool. I believe that is Henderson, and because he did not do that, Robinson was in a situation where he was basically forced to make a decision, which was to either go for that player that was about to receive the ball, which he did, or stay with Salah in order for him not to receive the possession. It does seem like whatever choice he did pick, in the end, Liverpool were only going to score. Liverpool had a great game plan at this moment. He outsmarted, I don't even know if that's a word, but he outsmarted Robinson and the rest of the Fulham team. They basically sneaked Salah in on that right side, and then that is how Liverpool scored the goal. I do not think that this was Robinson's fault. The midfielder should have easily knew exactly what was behind him, but he did not do anything. He was not marking anybody. You look at his position, he was nowhere to be found. He's like in the middle of everything that is going on and is not even close to the ball. And then moving on towards Ream, who is one of the center backs for Fulham. He played solid also. Everything went well for this player, this center back here, until Darwin came in, like in the second half. He came in fresh, and then everything fell apart from there. I do not blame him, right? He's 34 years old. He had to be able and capable to mark a fresh Darwin Nunez in this game after he was running like so many miles on the pitch. And going into Liverpool's second goal, again, I do think that many of you guys are confused about who is to blame when it came to this play here, because I know that many are going to be saying that Ream did header the ball, which allowed Liverpool to receive the ball and score the goal. I'm going to have to blame both center backs, right? I think that you and me can agree that yes, his header that he did make, the fact that he touched the ball went straight to Salah, and that is how Liverpool did score. But who was behind Tim Ream? It was the other center back that should have marked Salah from receiving that ball, because immediately after that goal was scored, Ream was looking at the other center back and was saying, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing trying to block this cross when I'm the one that's supposed to be doing this and you're the one that's supposed to be behind me marking Salah? And I felt like if that center back knew that he had to mark either whether it's Salah or Darwin Nunez, because those were the players that were inside the box, if he knew, right, that other center back knew that they were there, this would have never happened. This goal would have never happened, even if Ream did touch the ball, yes or no. That is why, again, he was asking, what are you doing? You should have been way behind me and marking another player and stop looking for this cross that was distributed by Trent. But that is going to be concluding this phase of this video. The overall rating for both of these players is going to be this. Robinson does get a 9.5 out of 10 for being so great in the attack and being so great on defending. And then as for Ream, I'm going to have to give him a 7 out of 10. Moving on towards the next phase of this video, and now let's talk about Tyler Adams and Brendan Aaronson. Now, I'm very excited when it comes to Leeds. I think that many US fans are very excited when it comes to Leeds, and many do believe that Leeds are going to be the dark horse of the Premier League. You look at what they have. They have an American coach named Marsh. They have Tyler Adams. They also have Aaronson. You can build a lot with these three Americans here. One is a coach and two are players. Now, Leeds did beat Wolves 2-1. Aaronson was given no credit for that last goal that led towards Leeds receiving the 3 points. It was an own goal coming from Nori, and I really wished that was Aaronson's goal, because really he was on a route to go on a 1-goal contribution per 90 minutes. And the fact that this was ruled out as an Aaronson goal and it was considered as an own goal, I was so sad to see that, because Aaronson has been doing so great, giving out 2 assists, scoring 1 goal here, giving an assist there. But let me set the stage when it comes to Aaronson and also Adams, like what we did earlier in this video. When it comes to Aaronson, right, Brendan Aaronson has attempted more pressures, which is a total of 31, than any other Premier League player so far this season. Only 2 players have made more successful pressures than Aaronson, which he does have a total of 12, which is great. And then when it comes to Tyler Adams, coming off this weekend, Tyler Adams covered the most distance in the Premier League. So the work ethic that has been demanded by Jesse Marsh from these 2 players has been phenomenal. It has been immense. Now, here's the thing though, right? We look at the amount of possession Wolves did have against Leeds. Wolves had 60% of the possession. I honestly feel like the reason why Tyler Adams covered the most distance, it is because he had to cover a lot. He was forced to, because Leeds did not have the ball. And I think that Tyler Adams is going to have to adapt to a situation like this, because there are going to be many teams in the Premier League that are going to be taking the ball away from you. And the fact that Tyler Adams even has the capability to do that and to cover a lot of distance, take away the ball from the opposition, that is great. That is awesome. We have a true athlete within this player. But I do believe that as Leeds continue to grow in the Premier League, I also do demand more from Leeds for them to have the ball even more, because they just have way too much quality within their squad. You have Aaronson, who can give you so much on the ball. You have, again, Tyler Adams, who can give you so much on the ball. I strongly believe that if Leeds can improve on that, they can win a lot of games going into this season. But we're going to have to wait and see how Jesse Marsh does adapt his team, because as of now, he does seem like he's okay with the Leeds losing the ball and having the opposition maintain the majority of the possession. So one of my favorite moments and highlights of this game was basically when Tyler Adams did receive the ball on the right flank, and then he immediately passes it towards Aaronson. He looks for space. Aaronson tests the goalkeeper, and Aaronson almost scored. So I love this moment here, mainly because Tyler Tyler Adams knew exactly why he should be waiting in that open space to receive the ball, because he was looking for Aaronson moments after that. He knows exactly where to position himself. Now, here's the thing, right? Tyler Adams, under Jesse Marsch at Leeds, he is someone who has been given the duty to give out many vertical passes and to make those passes extremely fast, like a quick release, and to organize play. But there were many moments in this game where I would say that, okay, I'm gonna question that decision, right? Tyler Adams made many decisions that did not resonate with me very well. Like, there were many moments where he did give the ball to the opposition, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Like, you as a right central defensive midfielder need to be more responsible when it comes to moments like this. Like, he gave the possession away. Like, in this play here on the 39th minute, we saw him holding the ball, but then immediately releases it and loses the ball, and Wolves exploded with that space that Tyler Adams left behind him. And again, as a right central defensive midfielder, you need to have a way more responsibility. You need to be so well aware of your decisions and know what could go wrong if things do not go well on your distribution. So the final rating when it comes to Brenden Aaronson, it is going to be a 8 out of 10, and Tyler Adams receiving a 7 out of 10. Moving on towards the next phase of this video, and now let's talk about Christian Pulisic, because in this game, Chelsea did win 1-0 against Everton. Pulisic did not start. He only played 36 minutes. He did enter the match on the 65th minute, and this did not help the case of him deciding whether he should be staying, yes or no. Because when we talk about Christian Pulisic, we talk about a player that does need to start and receive all of the minutes and as much as he can. We want to see Christian Pulisic as the protagonist in the final third full time, like all the time throughout the full 90 minutes. But we did not get that yet again. Tuchel continues to come out with the idea that Christian Pulisic should be a super sub, and I do not think so. I do believe that this is a player that can give you so much within a span of 90 minutes and consistently. But during that time that he was in, he was very effective. He came out with a lot of energy. During that extra time, like on the 97th or 98th minute, he did dispossess the goalkeeper, mainly because he was pressuring Everton so well. So you can really see that he was trying to convince Tuchel that he can be very intense. He can take away the ball even from the goalkeeper, and Chelsea almost scored until the ref did say that there was a foul that did occur on the field. We also saw Christian Pulisic pass like 2 to 3 opponents on the field. I felt like if Cucurella did make a much more forward and aggressive run and try to receive the ball on the left flank coming from a pass from Pulisic, something special could have been easily made there. But Christian Pulisic did not find anybody there when he was making that run. Cucurella was right behind him. I felt like, again, he could have been a little bit more forward, making more of a aggressive run. But again, Christian Pulisic did all he could, and he was amazing. Coming out from that game, he had a 100% dribble success rate, 100% tackles won, 6 out of 7 ground duels won. He was fouled 3 times and recovered the ball 3 times. So what more does Christian Pulisic need to do within a span of 25 minutes to convince Tuchel that this is a player you should be starting? And that's basically it, right? That is how I'm going to be wrapping this video. When it comes to Pepe, shout out to Pepe for trying so hard with his brand new team. I hope that he continues to do well. I do not think that when it came to his passes on that match, he did not look the most reliable as a number 9, and his teammates were greatly suffering from that. When it came to Buffon, he did score a goal. Shout out to that striker. He's really trying to make things happen for him and his career. Maybe he does something and gets called up to the World Cup roster by Berhalter. And also shout out to Scully, who did play for Mönchengladbach earlier this weekend. Again, another player that's really trying to convince through this season that he should be a player in the US men's national team for the World Cup. Hopefully he does live up to his full potential and just become another player that can easily fit into our depth chart. But that is going to be wrapping up today's American Dynasty video. Thank you guys so much for watching. There's going to be plenty of more videos coming out very, very soon. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.